Welcome back to Outside Views, and today we're diving deep into the newest drama shaking up British politics, Labour's open declaration of war against the upper class. And now, if you've ever watched Downton Abbey or The Crown, you've caught a glimpse of Britain's enduring fascination with its aristocracy and upper crust elites. But beneath all the charm and luxury lies a rigid social structure that's barely budged since the Middle Ages. And yet, it seems that the new Labour government under Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and it's a year, so I still call it new, has decided it's finally time to swing the hammer at these age-old class barriers. But can they really tear down centuries of entrenched privilege? Or will the old elites fight back to preserve their power and status? Well, let's just explore this together. It has been 25 years since Tony Blair famously declared the class war is over, promising a broad middle class and true equality for Britain. But today, Blair's shiny vision looks rather tarnished, as income inequality has actually widened and the rich have become richer. The invisible walls of class remain stubbornly intact, despite a few cracks. And today, even though more women and minorities have leadership roles, the elite are still predominantly white and male, and upward mobility remains elusive for most Brits. Enter Keir Starmer's Labour government, which has put social reform at the forefront, although that showed to be a little bit different than everybody thought. And Starmer himself, the son of a toolmaker and a nurse, represents Labour's pledge to dismantle the class ceiling or the glass ceiling, however you want to put this. Only 8% of his cabinet attended private schools. That's a sharp contrast to the 60% under his Conservative predecessor Rishi Sunak. Education Minister Bridget Phillipson proudly calls it the most class-conscious cabinet in recent history. But is this just symbolic, or can Labour really reshape society? One major move is Labour's push to hike inheritance taxes and cut tax advantages for the wealthy. They argue it's about fairness, but the elite aren't thrilled. Take the Burch family, who own Doddington Hall, an opulent 16th century estate in Lincolnshire. Owners like the Burches benefit from tax breaks meant to preserve cultural heritage, but critics say these privileges just entrench elite power. James Burch admits the house symbolizes historic inequalities, but argues many aristocrats aren't as rich as people think. And Labour's proposed tax reforms could hit his family with bills exceeding €3.5 million, forcing them to sell parts of their estate. Yet Labour's assault isn't just financial, it's also political. They are targeting the hereditary aristocracy's remaining privileges in the House of Lords, where, anyway, not only unelected nobles, but also unelected nobles still shape laws. And back in 1999, Tony Blair's attempt to abolish hereditary peers ended in compromise, reducing their number from 750 to 92. Starmer's Labour aims to finish what Blair started, abolishing hereditary titles and setting retirement ages for lords at 80. While most Brits support these changes, traditionalists like Earl Charles Courtney fiercely defend their hereditary rights, claiming continuity and stability. Courtney, who inherited his seat at 49, insists hereditary peers offer a long-term perspective politicians lack. But the elite today aren't just titled nobles. A new upper class of wealthy financiers and investors has emerged, deeply entwined with political power. And Jacob Rees-Mogg exemplifies this modern aristocracy. The ultra-conservative, known for his formal suits and controversial views, represents the tight weave between wealth and political influence. Rees-Mogg, whose estimated wealth exceeds €118 million, dismisses Labour's class-breaking ambitions as utter nonsense. And another Labour target is Britain's private school system, historically a pipeline to elite universities and influential networks. A staggering 32% of Oxford students still hail from private schools, despite accounting for only 7% of the population. And Labour's new tax policies on private schools aim to redirect funds to state education, challenging the traditional route to elite power. But dismantling these entrenched privileges won't be easy. Elite networks, nurtured at institutions like Oxford and Eton, are central to maintaining the status quo. And, as we would say, Geheimgesellschaften, so secret clubs known for access and exclusivity, continue to bind Britain's future leaders. And despite Labour's aggressive stance, many experts warn the upper class will fiercely protect their status. And meanwhile, some within the institutions themselves are pushing for change. For example, Baroness Carmen Smith, the youngest ever member of the House of Lords, advocates for a democratically elected upper house. She embodies the protest against the elitist traditions she was born outside of. Yet, even Smith acknowledges the system's resistance to radical change. And Labour's declaration of war on the upper class is undoubtedly bold, reflecting deep frustration among ordinary Brits tired of entrenched privilege. Yet, the question remains, can Labour truly achieve the radical reform they promise, or are these invisible class walls simply too strong to dismantle? Tony Blair might have prematurely declared the class war over 25 years ago, but perhaps the real battle for equality has only just begun. So, thanks for watching Outside Views, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more in-depth looks into British politics. Until next time, and if you want to see another video, the next one is right here in the end screen.